everybody and welcome back to my channel, or hi, hello if you are new here. Thank you for joining me for today's video. Today's video is going to be just a very informative video, I feel like, and also it's kind of a way for me to set out everything that we're doing for the wedding and understand it in my own head, because I don't think I've ever actually sat down and written down every single thing that we're doing, like full itinerary, and let it sink in. So this video should hopefully be very informative if you're watching just to see kind of how to organise a destination wedding in America, or if you just want to know what we're up to for our wedding if you watch my videos regularly. So I am going to go into probably every single little detail, but I will, I'm sure, forget different things. I have got some notes, but I definitely could forget things that we're doing or get things round in the wrong order or something. But I'm going to try my absolute best to make it all make sense and to also just be helpful and informative. So let's just get into the video. So I just start off with what Ollie and I are actually doing for our wedding, in case you don't normally watch my channel. But we are traveling to America. We are flying to Las Vegas, and then we are going to the Grand Canyon, and we are getting married on the Grand Canyon at Shoshone Point, which is one of the points on the South Rim that you can actually get married on. And we are traveling from the UK. I think the reason I wanted to do this video is because when I tell people that we're getting married in the Grand Canyon, they're just like, oh my god, that sounds like the most difficult thing to organise. But I kind of just wanted to share how I've done it, because it's not actually too difficult. Although I am a planner, I do love a plan. So for me it's not difficult. For someone else who is not a planner, this will seem quite complicated. But anyway, the first thing we had to do was decide who was coming, which is the very awkward part, because of course you can't just invite everybody that you want to a destination wedding. I feel like you can if you're getting married in Europe, and of course you can in America if you have all your family are willing to travel to America from the UK. Of course you can invite whoever you want, but the main issue we had with choosing America to get married was the expense of it. So a few family members that we did invite couldn't make it because of the cost of it, whereas if we were getting married somewhere in Europe, I feel like it could have been a little bit more affordable. But Europe is not the Grand Canyon. Me especially, I have been quite selfish in the process of planning our wedding, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because I know what I want, and also the amount of people that, I mean, I'm 31, so a lot of people I know are already married. And when I chat to so many people, they've done these big weddings in the UK, and they all say how complicated it was and how they wish they'd just gone abroad, and also how they wish they'd been more selfish. So that is my first tip in this video, is it's your wedding and obviously your husband-to-be's wedding, but I think most women are a little bit, you know, taking control of the wedding. I feel like that is a typical thing. But of course there are men out there who would also want to take control. So I'm lucky with Ollie. He's fairly easygoing. He's had a few stipulations within this wedding trip that I will tell you about. But I have been lucky in the way that I've been able to choose the majority of things. Where was I going with that? See, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go off on a tangent and I'm going to lose what I'm saying. This is definitely not going to be a very fast, snappy video, because I'm just not very good at doing that. I just feel like everything I talk about, there's more details just ping off of it. So yeah, inviting people was slightly difficult. Also, I'm from a divorced family, so that was a little bit complicated, but I have planned a whole celebration party for when we get back, which is going to be a really great celebration where everybody that we know is coming. So that's probably one thing I'd recommend doing if you are choosing a destination wedding and you're not inviting that many people. Maybe it would be nice if you just threw a party back home to just make those people that aren't invited or that can't make it feel a little bit included. I also fully stand by the be selfish on your own wedding thing, because it's your wedding. It's your one day where of your whole life you can go, I want this, I want that. You can be a bridezilla. Why not? You know? Why not? And if you're a bit like me and a people pleaser, which I am a major people pleaser, I've gone through my whole life ensuring that I'd rather see people around me having more fun than me, as long as I know they're having fun. So, you know, being a people pleaser, I'm actually going to really enjoy that people are going to be pleasing me. It'll be fun. Although I feel a little bit awkward about it, to be honest. The package that Ollie and I have done is actually totally suitable if you and your fiance just want to go together on your own. You can do that. But we only have 13 people going, which includes us. So we only have 11 guests with us. So because we've only got 11 guests, we are not doing anything like bridesmaids, maid of honours, best men. We're just not doing anything like that, because literally if you made everybody have a role in this wedding, there would just be like no guests. So everybody is a guest. One thing I did do, which was important to me, was I gave everybody a colour theme, because there's only a few of us going and it's on the Grand Canyon. The photographs are going to be epic, and I just needed everybody's outfits to kind of be matching. Any style is fine. I just kind of wanted the colours to all blend together, you know? So we've gone for neutral, earthy, cinnamon, rust sort of colours, which will match in beautifully with the Grand Canyon. So yeah, my main advice is choose who you want to go carefully. Maybe think about those people who are going to be easygoing, because planning a destination wedding, a lot of planning goes into it, a lot of organisation, and if you have any awkward people who are going to make things difficult for you, that's going to frustrate you, and it's your wedding. I'm just going to constantly say that phrase throughout this whole video. It's your wedding, so be selfish. So we did invite very minimal people. The other reason we invited minimal people is because of the cost of the actual wedding. It is a package, which I will go through everything in a minute, but we did have to be quite selective with how many people came along, because there were certain packages that you could only allow certain amount of people to go to, and we particularly wanted the sunset wedding package. So it was a maximum of 25 people, although once you go over 10 people, you're literally paying per person. We do have a budget, so we do need to be careful with how much we are spending, so things like that are important. So we couldn't book anything too soon until we knew exactly who was coming. So I knew that my mum and her partner was coming. We knew that Ollie's mum and dad were definitely coming. So I just felt like those people, if that's all that came with us, we still would book it and go. So at that point, when we had the kind of agreement from those 4 people that they were going to come along with us, that meant we could just go ahead and book the wedding and the flights. Obviously we didn't book anything before, because we wouldn't have done it without those people. So obviously when we got the confirmation of that, amazing, we were like, let's book it. And it was perfect timing, because it was January this year that we booked it, in 2023, and they had a massive sale on the British Airways flights. And Ollie's stipulation, this is Ollie's, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to it, but this is Ollie's stipulation, is that we flew out business class. So we were very lucky, because in January they had a big January sale on. We managed to get our flights and Ollie's parents' flights booked as business class, and it's expensive, but it wasn't crazy expensive. So that is going to be a very nice little luxury for us to fly out there and back business class. But of course, I'm not really going to talk about the flight costs, because flight costs literally vary all the time. So I could tell you the cost of a flight back in January, it's not going to be the same now. So I won't bother with that. I'm going to tell you the prices of everything else though. My mum and her partner James, I think, are they going with Virgin? I feel like they might be flying with Virgin, and they're going out a little bit earlier than us, so they'll be already out there when we arrive. But when we arrive late in the evening. So before I even looked into getting married in the Grand Canyon, we definitely researched the weather there. The weather was something that's very important, because it being a sunset wedding, obviously it's going to start getting colder in the evenings, so we needed to make sure it was warm enough that everybody could be wearing their dresses for a few hours and shirts and stuff, and not feel cold. But this has come at a great expense of the weather in Las Vegas. So when we fly into Las Vegas, it's the end of August, it's going to be flipping hot. Like, it's just going to be unbearable hot outside. But obviously, of course, there's loads of hotels, it's all aircon, so it's fine. In America, it's all aircon, isn't it? In the UK, we don't really have aircon. Well, we don't have it in our homes or in many places, so we struggle with the weather here. But of course, in America, there's going to be aircon everywhere, apart from outside. So yeah, that's going to be fun. The weather there will be very hot, but the reason that we chose that date, the end of August, very end, 31st of August, is because in the Grand Canyon, I read, I don't know how correct I am, and if you live in the local area, please correct me, but I read that it can be up to 10 degrees cooler on the Grand Canyon compared to in Las Vegas. So that meant if it's saying it was going to be Las Vegas was going to be about 35 degrees Celsius, then it meant that it would be about 25 on the canyon, which is beautiful, perfect weather and would be nice going into the evening. So that's why we've booked it then. So the weather came into it and also the day of the week. So with the package that we booked, it was slightly more expensive on Fridays and Saturdays, and it didn't matter to us what day we got married on. So we're actually getting married on a Thursday, and that meant that the package was a fair bit cheaper because it was like a midweek wedding. There's a few different companies that are available to plan a Grand Canyon wedding with, and I looked into them both, and actually they both had really good reviews. I'll leave the company we use linked down below. Any information that I've given in this video, I'll try and leave all the links in the description so you can go and have a look for yourselves. I think they're just called the Grand Canyon Wedding Packages Company, and we use them, and they have several different packages, all different things you can choose, which point you want to get married on the Grand Canyon. There's all different wedding points. You can't just go anywhere, I believe. There are rules and stipulations and stuff. So you have to choose the area that you want to get married in, and then you have to apply for a permit from the actual Grand Canyon National Park in order to be allowed to have your wedding there. So our wedding company didn't do that for us. That was something that I had to do. But weirdly, I had to book and secure and pay the deposit of the wedding before I'd even got confirmation of the point being available that we wanted to get married on. So that was a little bit of an iffy time, but actually it all worked out fine. Also check, if you're from the UK, check the national holidays of America, because we were looking at doing the following weekend, but I believe it is a big bank holiday weekend or something in America. And so actually it was really nice of our wedding planners. They did say to us, did you really want that weekend specifically? Because if you just go the weekend before, it's going to be cheaper, it's going to be less busy, Vegas is going to be cheaper when we stay there. So I was like, yeah, I'm not bothered about their holiday. I'm not bothered about the national holiday at all. It wasn't why we chose that weekend. Definitely check things like national holidays, because obviously all your prices are just going to skyrocket on those weekends. The package that we chose is called the Sunset Wedding Package. So we have the 13 people, and the package includes an arrival toast. It includes your minister, your ceremony guy, the guy that's going to marry you. It includes an acoustic guitarist. It includes a cake and flowers for me, and Ollie's, I never know how to say this. Is it button tea? You know the little flower that they can have in their pocket? Although to be honest, I don't know if Ollie will bother with that, because he's just going to have a shirt on. And he might not even have a pocket, I don't know. But I have a little bunch of flowers. You can pay extra. So with the package, there's all these extras that you can choose from, optional extras, which included things like a bigger cake, a more bespoke cake, bespoke flowers, paying for your guitarist to be there throughout the picnic that's included. I forgot to mention that includes a little picnic as well. So there's all these extra things, although I've tried to keep it very simple. The only extra that I did choose was a videographer. It's only a 2-minute edited video, so it's a very short little video, but because it is a destination wedding, I felt like a videographer was a really important aspect of the wedding for us. With me loving YouTube, being on YouTube, I want to be able to put the wedding video on YouTube, but the most important thing was, because we're doing a party back home, if we get ourselves a little projector, then we can actually play the wedding video for everybody that couldn't be there. And I feel like that would be a really special moment, and just to, nobody's going to really know exactly how it feels to get married on the Grand Canyon. So to have this wedding video and to kind of get everyone in the vibe of what we did, I think will be really cool. So that was very important, and it was very expensive, but to me that was kind of priceless. It was $800 extra, so quite a lot of money. And the total wedding cost, including that $800, bearing in mind this is only a 2.5 hour, is it 2.5? Starts at 4:30 till 7. Yeah, it's a 2.5 hour thing. So you arrive, you go to the point, you get married, you do your cider toast, you have your picnic, you have your photographs. It includes an 1.5 hours of photography, and then so many edited photos and the videography. So it includes quite a lot, and your acoustic guitarist, so you get a lot in the package, but it is only a 2.5 hour package, and the total cost of that is $5,643. So that's a lot of money. So obviously without the videography, you're looking at about $4,800, and this was when we booked it back in January. Prices may have changed now, I don't know, although it is the same year, so it could be the same. Obviously that's dollars, so it's a little bit cheaper in pounds. There's not much difference these days between the dollars and pounds, so it's still quite expensive. But I mean, a wedding in the UK, I looked it up, and I think the average wedding cost is like between £15,000 and £20,000. I'd rather have a wedding abroad, a holiday, and have the whole thing lasting over a few weeks than spend 20 grand on one day. I don't think I ever would spend 20 grand on one day. If it's for you, it's for you. But for me, my God, I'm sure you can definitely do weddings a lot cheaper than that, but that was just like what the average was. So anyway, yeah, that's the total cost of our wedding and ceremony. So in order for us to actually be able to get married on the Grand Canyon, we do have to get a license in America. This is very easy in Las Vegas because they have different rules to other areas of America. So you can basically go on the same day and pick up your marriage license, and then you can go and get married literally 5 minutes after that, whereas normally there's like a waiting time in between. We are going to go and pick up our wedding license. Well, we arrive on the 27th, so on the 28th I think we'll go and grab our wedding license. To get that is $77, and it is basically just a little meeting, and then you sign some documents, show your ID and all of that, and then you get your wedding license, and then you are allowed to get married. And the wedding is totally validated in the UK, so you don't have to go to a registry office in the UK before. The whole wedding is totally legal here, and you are married. So yeah, that's really cool that we don't have to do anything else, or like get married before and then go. It's nice to know that when we stood on the Grand Canyon doing our vows, that is actually us getting married. So I did touch on the subject a little bit earlier, but you did have to get the permit to be allowed to actually get married on the Grand Canyon. And this permit, you have to contact the Grand Canyon National Park themselves, and there's forms to fill out. I suppose they're slightly complicated. You just need to make sure that you put the dates in there, how many people are going, what point that you want to get married, what's going to be happening, like are you having music, is there going to be alcohol. There were things that I had to select, but my wedding planners were really helpful in the way that they just told me exactly what to write in the form. So I would say the wedding package thing has been so helpful. Like I think I had to wait about a week for that to be approved. We wanted the Shoshan point, which is the most expensive point. Obviously I had to choose the most expensive point, but the photos of this specific point where you can get married just look absolutely insane. And so this point also has a little picnic table as well, and you are allowed slightly more people there, so that meant that we could go up to the 13 people because there was space for that amount of people in this particular point. So yeah, it has a little picnic bench which they said they'll set up and decorate a little bit so we can have our picnic there. On the Grand Canyon you can't have any coverings, you can't have any furniture. When I say coverings I mean like gazebos, you don't stand under an arch. There is absolutely no decor at all. It is just you, your guests, stood on the edge of the Grand Canyon and doing your vows, and that is how beautifully simple it is. Very much in the moment, no fuss. But she did say that on the picnic bench, because I guess it's just a picnic bench, she will put a tablecloth on there, which is nice. I don't expect anything more than that. She asked me what colour ribbon I would like around the cake, so I've gone for a rust colour, and I said if you can put a rust like table runner, that would be pretty too. But yeah, we're not being fussy with that at all. I am actually writing my own vows. Well, I have been writing them. I'm a bit nervous though to do that. I'm very, very uncomfortable in standing up in front of people. But I really love the idea of writing my own vows. So I have been writing them. Whether I'll have the confidence to do it on the actual day, I don't know. But obviously you can choose to read your own vows, or you can read the ones that obviously the minister, I think that's what they're called, officiant. I think they're called an officiant, gives you to read. So yeah, that is how the actual wedding will go. But we also had to take into account that Las Vegas is a 5-hour drive away from the wedding. So if you're getting married in Las Vegas and you're just watching this, so you wouldn't have the complication of the logistics of getting from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon. Although it is fine, it's all figured out, it will be fine. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I want to go to Las Vegas, but I don't know if I want that typical Las Vegas wedding, this video should hopefully let you know that there are other options out there for you, and it's not too difficult. Obviously, there's more expenses involved. Because everybody's also incorporating this wedding into their own holiday, everybody wants to hire a car anyway and go off and do their own thing after the wedding, which has worked out great because we've just said to everybody, okay, in your sort of pairs or whoever you're coming with, hire a car, and then that's how they can get from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon. And that also keeps everybody's freedom, so they can do whatever they want to do. So we've planned for 3 nights in Las Vegas prior to the wedding, then we'll be driving from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon, and we have an Airbnb booked there, which is booked for the night before and the night after the wedding. And then after that, we've just said to everybody, okay, you know, you've got your car, go do what you want to do. And then we don't have to fly back for another 4 nights. So then that'll be like mine and Ollie's time to just have like a little mini honeymoon. And we haven't booked a hotel for that yet, but we will book something in Vegas, I think. So the 3 nights prior, we are staying in the Paris Hotel Las Vegas, which was so affordable. I don't know if it's just because it was midweek, but we've paid $49. I think there's a resort fee as well. So it could be about $100 a night per room. So really good value. It has loads of pools in it. Obviously all the hotels have loads of restaurants, pools. They're just like big resort hotels. So that one we got on a really good deal. So as soon as I saw that online, I did do loads and loads of looking into different hotels. Where should we stay? Do we want a really nice one? Do we want a really cheap one? Decided to go for the Paris because it's very affordable, but it still has pretty good reviews. I've heard that it's quite tired now, but a lot of the Las Vegas hotels are. I don't even think that there's like that many that are absolutely amazing. I feel like a lot of them look tired. And the Paris was just, yeah, it was a good choice, I think. Central as well, right in the middle of the strip. So if we want to go for like, if we want to look around, you know, it's a good meeting point, and people can go off that way, can go off that way, and we're like right in the middle. It's very convenient. So the Paris, I feel like, was a good choice. If you stayed there before, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to know your review of it. Obviously, I've watched loads and loads of reviews of all different hotels in Las Vegas. I'm like overwhelmed with them now. We're all staying in there apart from one couple who've booked their own hotel. They're staying in the New York. So that's not far away anyway, so we can all just meet up. So when we arrive in the evening, we'll probably go for a meal out with everybody. Day after we arrive, my mum and my friends have actually planned a whole hen do for me in Las Vegas, which is going to be absolutely amazing. I know nothing about the hen do, which is so funny because I am such a planner, and normally if I'm doing anything I'm like in control of it. So I know nothing, and I've really tried not to get involved because I'm very excited to have that planned for me. So I think from the afternoon onwards, that will all be hen do stuff. Hopefully Ollie will be off with the lads, like on a stag do as well. I think they're probably going to plan something for him. So that day will be hen and stag do day. In the morning, me and Ollie will have to go get our license, make sure that is done, and we need to tick that box. So that will be the first day. And then the next day, we're all going to be hanging because we would have all been on hen and stag do's the night before. So we have that whole day with no plans, apart from we're going to book a restaurant that evening. The restaurant we were looking at booking was Hell's Kitchen, you know, Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in Caesar's Palace, but very expensive. And it's difficult when you're travelling with people because everyone has different means. Some people would spend a lot on food and others wouldn't want to spend much on food. So it's really difficult in that aspect. We do have a group chat, so we just throw things on the group chat if we've got ideas. But we're also all very easygoing people. So if a couple said to me, actually, you know, we don't want to come for that meal, it's too expensive, I'm not going to get funny. I'm so thankful that these people are coming out to have this fun time with me and Ollie and just to celebrate this wedding. So, you know, I am never going to tell anybody what they can and can't do. And I would say, like, if you're planning a destination wedding, like, do the same, because people are spending a lot of money to come and do something that you've asked them to do. So I feel like you can't be too funny over it. You can't. So we may book the Hell's Kitchen, or we might do that for when it's just me and him. Because then we're not asking too much of anybody. But we will book a meal out that evening, and then the rest of that day will probably be just like chilling by the pool, because the Paris has nice pools, so chill in front of them. The weather's going to be very hot, a bit of sunbathing, and maybe the zip lining. I am very tempted to do the zip lining through the mall in Las Vegas. So it depends how hungover I am though, because if I'm feeling sick, I do not want to go on a zip line. But it looks really good, so we might do that. that day. But yeah, lovely chill out day, not too many plans. So then the next day at 10 o'clock, we'll pick up our cars. We've found this website, I think it's called Turo. I think I'm saying that right. I'll leave it linked down below. But it is, I suppose it's basically like Airbnb, but for cars. So people have their own cars, they put their cars on the site, you rent their cars, it includes all your insurance, and it is way, way cheaper than the usual car rental places in Las Vegas. And you can also get some really cool cars. So we have a very cool truck that we're going to rent. Oh my God, what is it? The Chevrolet. Ollie's chosen it. This is one of his stipulations as well. He gets complete choice of the car because he would love that. So we have this beautiful big Chevrolet, which we are going to be sharing with Ollie's mum and dad as well. So it's quite nice to have a big truck. And you're in America, like get a big truck, why not? And it can fit all of our luggage in it as well. Oh yeah, that just reminded me of the luggage. The wedding dress. So when you're choosing a wedding dress for a destination wedding, just bear in mind you're going to be carrying it around. It's going to be packaged up. Maybe choose something that is going to be super easy to travel with. And I think if you are planning a destination wedding, you're probably going for the heat anyway. So I wouldn't imagine that you're going to get a big boned meringue dress. You're gonna go for something beachy or boho, you know, which is what I've gone for. My dress would literally screw up in a little ball when I can put it into my suitcase, and it doesn't take up much room at all. And on the day, the dress and the weather had to fit, so it's not thick, it's got no boning. I'm going to be comfortable, being able to move, dance around and just have fun and not feel like I'm sucked into this dress and all I'm thinking about is taking it off. I want to be able to wear it for hours, and I think I will be able to with the dress that I've chosen. So that'll be another tip. Make sure that you think about just being comfortable. Of course, where we are getting married, it is very unlevel flooring. I mean, it's a canyon. There's no path. Well, there's a path, but it's not like, there's no like concrete path. It's literally, or like tarmac. It's just a rubbly path. So we're all wearing cowboy boots, which is cool. Very happy about that. I think that'll be really fun for the photos as well. I've definitely gone off on a tangent now. We're talking about driving. So yeah, hiring the cars. So everyone hire their cars on the morning at 10 o'clock. And then to get to the canyon, because we don't have to check into the Airbnb until 4 p.m. So what we thought is we'll do a little road trip. So people want to go to the Hoover Dam, and there's some other little points along the way that everyone wants to stop. I want to stop off, and there's like a ghost town somewhere, I think, where it's like completely not used anymore. And if you're from Las Vegas or the surrounding areas, or even if you just know, please leave me comments down below letting me know cool things to do when you're driving from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon South Rim, because I just think anything along that little route there would be really cool. We want to stop off at. So we'll have the whole day then to kind of do like a road trip all together, travel up to the Airbnb, check in for 4 o'clock. It's in Williams, so we can actually, Williams is only 20 minutes from the site that we actually get married. So the Airbnb that I chose had to be very close. The Airbnb was a rather large costing because there's so many people going. Well, it's not like so many people going, but it's like, because it's not like just a family home and it's all separate people. So the Airbnb was a more difficult thing to plan. So what I've ended up booking is a ranch with 2 houses on it. Both the houses are actually on Airbnb individually, or you can rent them all together. Now individually, we could have fitted in one of them, but it would have meant people sleeping on sofas, people sharing bedrooms. And again, this is people's holiday. I don't want people to be worrying about spending 2 nights sharing rooms and stuff like that. I just want everyone to have a great time. So we really wanted to pay for it, but we did think, do you know what? Actually, we could afford to pay for like one of the houses and everyone shares, but then we thought, should we just put it to the group and say if everyone wants to give us £100 per person each, so it's £50 per person a night, to have their own bedroom, and I rent the other whole house, would they be up for it? And everybody said yes, because to them it's £100 per person. They get their own bedroom, there's extra bathrooms, there's 2 kitchens, we have the whole thing to ourselves, so it's like way worth it. So we paid obviously the majority of the Airbnb, but I would definitely say if you are doing this abroad, it doesn't have to be like that. Obviously people can pay for their own accommodation, but because we're doing something so rural, we just felt like we wanted to pay as much as we could for people but you know, it has to be within reason. We're not millionaires. We can't just pay for everything, even though I'd love to do that. So yeah, put that to the group, and actually everybody was very reasonable about that and thought it would be a great idea. So we booked both of the houses, so we have the whole ranch now, which is really nice. Check in at 4 o'clock day before. Then we have the day of the wedding, which I've already explained what happens with that, well, from 4 p.m. onwards. But we do have the whole day, so I think we'll probably have a nice brunch together in the morning. I'll see Ollie. I'm not going to be all like totally separate. See Ollie in the morning, and then we'll go, us girls can go in one house and get ready, and the guys can go in the other house and get ready, which is going to work out so perfectly, because it would be nice. I don't want Ollie to like see me before. I want him to be on the edge of the canyon as I walk up, and then he looks around. That bit of traditionalness, I do want that bit where he looks and he's like, well, he won't, he'll just be like but still, we're not like the most romantic couple. But yeah, you know that moment where the man is at the end of the aisle and he looks around and sees the bride walking up. I do want that little moment there. So I want to arrive sort of 10 minutes after Ollie. So I hope that will all be okay. I haven't checked that with them yet, but I think it'll be fine. Of course, we all have our cars, so we can drive from the Airbnb to the point where we're getting married. And it's very easy. Can share a few cars. And then after the ceremony and everything, and the little picnic and some drinks, we will then, and photographs, we will then hop back in the cars and head back to Williams, where the Airbnb is. And then it has huge kitchen in there, dining areas. Basically, I'm thinking, we paid so much for the Airbnb, let's just have a party there. Not plan anything else, no wedding reception, just have a party there. So if you are thinking about getting married abroad, and there's a like similar amount of people to us that's going, I would say maybe look at Airbnb and see if you can find a beautiful house, and instead of spending money on a wedding reception, maybe spend it on the house where everyone can sleep there, everyone can party. You could definitely get someone to bring food in. You could get a private chef. You could do all of these things depending on your budget. We'll probably just go to the supermarket, to be honest, and buy a load of food and chuck it on the side afterwards and have some nibbles and just listen to music and party and stuff. And then the next morning we don't have to check out till 11 a.m. That's the only aspect of it that I'm not too comfortable with, is the fact that all of us are staying in these houses. We've got to check out at 11 a.m. We'll all be probably feeling a bit ooh, because we would have had hopefully such a great day the day before. So it's just the next day, it's just like trying to get the Airbnb clean and get us all out the door by 11. So what I have actually done, contacted the Airbnb owners, and I said, can I rent just one of the houses for an extra night? And so me, Ollie and his parents, we're all going to rent the other house for an extra night, and we'll try and mainly stay in there, like Ollie and I, so that then we just have that one house to like clean up in the morning, and then we can focus on cleaning the other house and getting it back, you know, as it was to the owners on the following day. And it also just gives us that whole day then to like chill out. Thought that'd be quite nice. On the day after the wedding, there'll be like no plans, and it will just be me, Ollie and his parents, unless anyone else decides to stay. But I think everyone's got their own like itineraries they want to do, so I think that'll be lovely. And then the next day we'll obviously be checking out of the second house, and we are then going to go on the Grand Canyon National Railway. So on this trip, I did want to plan a few little trips with people. So we're going to do the zip lining with everybody. We might do some nice restaurants like I talked about earlier. And then Ollie and I and his parents are going to go on the Grand Canyon Railway, which will be really fun. It's like a themed railway trip. It goes for the day. I mean, obviously we would have seen the canyon because we were staying nearby and we got married on it. But the train sort of drives you in, and then it's got actors on it and stuff. It's just a really fun thing to do for the day. That's like a round trip, so it takes us into the canyon, stop there for a bit, drops you back, and we'll be back in Williams. And then we will have our car, drive back into Las Vegas. That will take us to late evening. Then we will stay, and then we're gonna, but this is the hotel we've not booked, so then we need to book 3 nights before our flight home. And Ollie's parents just have 1 night, so we're going to book them in the same hotel as us for the first night, and then they'll fly back that next day. And then we'll have 2 nights which are completely by ourselves. And that's the hotel we've not booked yet, but I'm looking at the Venetian or the Cosmopolitan, choosing between them two. Do we want to party after the wedding, or do we want to chill? We don't know. It's probably best just to book it on the day, because honestly, who knows how we're going to be feeling afterwards. Are we going to want a rave, or are we going to want a sunbathe? Who knows? So those things we've still got to book. So it's nice that we have a few little trips planned with everybody, but not too much itinerary over planned. Let people do their own things as well. If I didn't tell you how much the national park permit was, I better tell you that now. It's $500 to get our national park permit. So it's quite expensive. It's a little bit cheaper in some of the other areas, but $500 is what you have to pay if you want to get married on Shoshone Point. Insurance. So, oh, I put the wrong price there. It was more than that. It was double. So the insurance was an expense I did not realise about. I just thought we'd get our travel insurance like normal and it would include everything. But the wedding planners, they said, you need to get your wedding insurance. And I said, oh, okay, no problem. They sent me some links. But then we had the issue of the fact that I'm buying wedding insurance for the USA in the UK. And it is really, really difficult. I don't know whether most of their customers are from the USA, so it was very difficult. The links they sent me, I wasn't able to get insurance from. They did eventually send me a link for another company who was an events planning company in America that did give me the insurance, but the problem I had is when I was filling out all the forms, it would ask you for your address and it was only allowing me to put in an American address. And obviously I'm in the UK and I know what insurance is like. If anything goes wrong, they'll use any excuse to get you out. I did think, should I put the Airbnb address? I just didn't know what to do, but I thought it needs to be our address. So yeah, I was getting a bit stressed about that. And I did not realise how much that was going to cost. But for a 2.5 hour ceremony, that's £400 because I had to get public liability insurance. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact it's on the Grand Canyon, like it's more dangerous, or it's nothing like that. I think it is actually just the cost of events insurance, because you're insuring each individual person. Even though they have their own travel insurance as well, you have to have this extra insurance on top. So insurance was an extra expense. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, £400 is not a huge amount of money, but it's still that money that, I just think insurance is just, it's annoying, isn't it? You spend that money and then everything goes fine and then the insurance company's like, well, thank you very much. But anyway, it's got to be done. But the last thing that I've not spoken about is the hair and makeup. The hair and makeup thing is very difficult because in the UK you would normally go and have a hair trial and a makeup trial. You'd be able to tell your stylist exactly how you want it and they'll be able to chop and change it and you're going to know how it's going to go on the day. Well, for me, that's just not really an option because we've only got one night before the wedding. So I'm not going to go and have a trial. I mean, I could go on that evening before and go and have a hair trial and a makeup trial. But I don't want to spend my evening when all my friends and family are having fun, going to get my hair and makeup done. Again, it's just something that's not important. I'd rather be in the moment and not worry too much about things. But I am quite lucky because I can do my own makeup and hair and I don't look too shabby, you know? I could do it. But obviously some people literally don't do hair and makeup, don't know how to do it at all. So then I would suggest that you do go and have a trial. Book somewhere that looks good, check the reviews, book yourself in a trial and then have it done again on the day, obviously. Because if you don't like your hair and makeup on the day, I just think that would be really sad. And you've got to think about the photos, you've got to think about how you feel on the day, and yeah, stuff like that. I think it's how it makes you feel good, doesn't it? So I would suggest going to get a trial if you can't do it yourself. For me, I've decided I'm just going to totally do it myself. I'm going to see my friend, I think next week actually, and she's going to try and teach me how to do hair, because I can do my makeup pretty well, but hair I'm not very adventurous with. It's a bit drab sometimes. So she's going to teach me how to put it up and how to put, like, I've got this hairpiece in, the veil. So she's going to just show me how to do all of that. So I've kind of booked myself a trial in the UK just to give me a little lesson into how to do my hair so that then I can go away and do it myself on the day. Luckily, wedding is until 4:30, so we literally have all day to faff around with hair and makeup. And I think that'll be a really nice time with the girls. We're all quite into doing our hair and our makeup, and I just think it'll be lovely. A few drinks, and helping each other out. I actually think it'll be a really fun bonding time. So I'm pleased that we're not going somewhere for hair and makeup. I did look into it, and I could have booked something locally and we could have all gone to this salon and got our hair and makeup done, but I decided against it. Again, because we spent so much on the Airbnb, why not make the most of the beautiful space that we've got? The wedding planners also can include hair and makeup in your package if you want to. I don't know who they use, but it was very, very expensive. It was $800 just for me to have my hair and makeup done. And it's just another thing to think about as well. I'm just not spending £800 on my hair and makeup. I'd rather, I don't know, go for an incredible meal out or go for a trip somewhere. Just $800, no. But like I did say, I'm lucky I can get myself looking okay by myself. But yeah, if you do want to do it, then, or even why don't you have a trial back in the UK where it's a little bit cheaper and somebody could teach you how to do it, and then you can do it yourself. There's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. I feel like I've talked so much. I don't know if I've actually given any helpful information to you if you're planning to book a destination wedding. I really hope this has been basically a helpful video to anybody that's watching that doesn't normally watch my videos and just wants to get married abroad and was looking for some tips. But I also hope it's just been a nice video for anybody that does watch my channel normally and just wants to know everything that we're doing when we get married. Because I feel like I've given you all of the details, apart from our hotel afterwards that we've not booked, and obviously my hen do, which I have no idea what we're doing on that. Really, really excited for that one. And my plan for YouTube and vlogging the trip is I'm actually going to vlog every single day, and I'm going to have them as individual vlogs. So it's basically going to be like Las Vegas day 1, and then it'll be like getting our licenses. Las Vegas day 2, hen do. So I'm just going to do it like that because I just feel like it's going to be so much content. I cannot get that into one video. And I also really like the idea of it just being like a little series, little wedding series, showing you guys everything that we get up to, obviously vlogging the wedding day, the flights, and you know, because it's business class, that'll be cool to watch. So yeah, I'm gonna vlog every single detail of it, and I cannot wait. And the fact that I am on YouTube and I vlog stuff, I just think so cool when it comes to stuff like this, because in 10 years time, when me and Ollie have been married 10 years, we can watch our wedding vlogs, that's just such a special treat. And of course having the videographer at the wedding as well, like I said, is really important. But yeah, I really hope that I have answered any questions that you were thinking about. If I have been like I through this video, sorry. Basically, I am the planner. So when I say I've planned this and I've planned that, it is literally me that plans it all. And I just say to Ollie, oh, is this okay? What do you want for this? What do you want for that? And then he just puts his input, and then I just make sure that his input is definitely taken into account. But yeah, obviously I've probably just said I all the way through, but I am marrying Ollie and there are 2 of us in this relationship. Anyway, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. And if you are new here and you are interested in watching all of our vlogs when it comes up to our wedding, then definitely consider subscribing, because those vlogs will be coming up very, very soon. I mean, it's only 2 and a bit months now until we actually get married, so cannot believe that it's come around so fast. So thank you guys, I hope you're all doing very well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.